What's going on, Reject Nation? It's Greg Alba.
And it's John Humphrey here.
So, I just got a couple of messages from people at Comic-Con, and then I was like, alright, maybe I need to go online and then see if there's anything online about this. And
I just got a call from Batman himself.
Yeah, apparently, there's all this talk. Now, I don't know if something specific was mentioned actually at Comic-Con, since a couple of people texted me about it while they're there. Here's what the Hollywood Reporter has to say. The studio is working on plans to usher out Affleck's Batman gracefully, a source says, addressing the change in some shape or form in one of the upcoming DC films. So Ben Affleck is headed to Comic-Con tomorrow to promote Justice League. Yes, Warner's film studio chief Toby Emmerich tells the Hollywood Reporter, Ben is our Batman. We love him as Batman. We want to keep him in the cowl as long as we can. And Matt Reeves, who will direct the studio's still undated and unwritten The Batman, has said that he means to keep Affleck in the role. But a source... with knowledge of the situation, says that the studio is working on plans to usher out Affleck's Batman, gracefully addressing the change in some shape or form in one of the upcoming DC films. Exactly when and how that might happen has yet to be determined, but it'd be wise to bet against Affleck starring in The Batman. He has already stepped away from directing the film, and Reeves is dropping the script that Affleck wrote with DC Entertainment's Jeff Johns. You know, Ben Affleck, this has been the worst part of his career.
Yeah.
It just seems to be getting worse and worse. I mean, when he was already cast as Ben Affleck, when he was already cast to be Batman, it was already a firestorm of people just in an outrage. It's Ben Affleck.
What?
And then he had to work his ass off to prove he could be Batman. And then he does a great job as Batman.
And then he was like the savior for a minute.
He was the
of
savior
DC.
for yeah, he was. He was. And then he's gonna write and direct the Batman and star in it. And then he's like, you know what, guys, you guys need to back the hell off for a second. You know, you guys are pretty. He started understanding what YouTube comments are. A lot of demand from comic book fans. And then he's like, okay, I'm not gonna direct the Batman. And then, oh, his script's getting canned. The more that keeps getting released on Ben Affleck as the Batman, it just seems to be getting worse and worse for the guy. I don't know. It's at the point now where, you know, when you hear stupid stuff like a source says, it's usually just some dumb rumor. But it's at the point where I'm beginning to believe it's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know. I never know how to feel about sources, but if you do look at the play-by-play and stuff like that, especially considering that Matt Reeves apparently has acknowledged he wants to do, you know, a trilogy of some kind, and then you look at this news about, like, one by one Ben Affleck's roles are coming out of this film.
Yeah.
It seems a little weird not to cast him in that first movie, but the more I look at this and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, well, if they're even considering not committing to Ben Affleck and Matt Reeves just stepped in and wants to make a different thing for at least 3 movies, I would be psyched if they went for old Batman and committed to that for a while. That would be cool. It's something new, especially to do in a trilogy.
Totally.
But, you know, at least the Hollywood Reporter is saying, I get it, you know, like, I don't know if they're gonna want to do that for 3 straight movies.
The more time goes on, the less creatively involved Ben Affleck is. Yeah. And I feel like a big part of the draw for Ben Affleck to be Batman was not just playing him, but also being able to be creatively involved behind the scenes. And it seems like the more time goes on, the less creatively involved he's going to be. When he was going to write and direct the Batman, that obviously seemed like a passion project of his at the time. The more you strip away directing and writing, it's less of a passion for the guy. So even if Warner Brothers is trying to usher him out, I'm even thinking Ben Affleck kind of seems like he wants to be out of this now.
It just seems like it's not his project anymore, and it's not the dream that it used to be.
Yeah.
And you know that they don't want to start a trilogy off with some guy they're going to remove partway through that trilogy. Unless they have some kind of masterful plot twist where somebody takes over and it becomes Batman Beyond or something.
Yeah, the Hollywood Reporter talks about it. He's gonna turn 45 next month.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do a trilogy, he's gonna be way into his 50s by that point. By the time you get to the second or third one, he might already be in his 50s. It just seems like this is something Ben Affleck doesn't want to do anymore. Like, the more interviews you hear on him, the more it seems like, I want to get away from DC fans. I want to get away from the pressure. I want to do my own project.
Personally, I don't blame him for that. And hasn't he had a lot of, like, personal life? Like, wasn't he just in rehab? Like,
I mean, he has all these, like, on and off again splits happening with Jennifer Garner. He was in rehab.
I don't think now's the time for this.
No.
I almost feel like just for Ben Affleck's life,
yeah,
sanity, he should leave.
So Justice League coming out, it's like, okay, maybe it's a good thing the solo Batman films haven't been done yet. This way you could get a replacement. And if that's the case, I vote John Hamm.
Yeah! Hey, that would be cool.
It would be awesome.
Awesome to see that.
Or
And then
Idris
recast,
Elba.
and then recast Superman with John Hamm too.
Yeah.
So then finally the fifth Justice League movie will just all be John Hamm in separate roles, like an Eddie Murphy movie. That's what I want.
Well, guys, I mean, what do you think of this? Is this actually something that you think is going to go down? Do you think Ben Affleck will be leaving the Batman? Do you want him to leave the Batman? I feel like for his own sanity at this point, he should just leave.
This project, yeah, like this
I don't
thing
want it to,
looks
but-
like such a mess. Why not?
Just when you thought the DCEU was getting everything in order.
Hey, dude, just mocap Batman. Get any service.
Well, you can subscribe to The Real Rejects, click that notification bell, Datch on Humphrey on Twitter and Instagram, social media manager at Blumhouse, and check out our exclusive perks and rewards over at patreon.com/TheRealRejects. Tell me, do you bleed? Apparently he does.
He does.